Well, it's happened again. I'm recording another Puppet Tea. This time I actually have tea, and it's a little bit cold because I was going to record this, and then I got distracted, which never happens to any of you, I'm sure. So now it's cold Puppet Tea. Today I want to talk about whether or not celebrity voices matter. So there's an old Hollywood adage that having movie stars in your movies helps market them and promote them and make them successful movies. And this adage has pretty much held true throughout movie history. We tend to find that movies that star movie stars are bigger and more successful movies. There are, of course, exceptions to the rule. There's always the indie breakouts, the unexpected hit, the new emerging star, all kinds of unexpected occurrences. But the question is, does that carry over into animation? So recently there was a big fracas on the internet when they announced that Chris Pratt was cast to play Mario in the new animated Mario movie. A lot of people said, hey, what's wrong with the voice actor who normally does the job? He's still alive and well and loves to play Mario. Why are you taking that part away from him and giving it to, Mr. Movie Star over here? Good question. The answer that I got when I pitched my movie at festivals and marketplaces and things like that from distributors and people who sell movies is that it improves your chances of selling your movie to the public if you have a celebrity in it. So if you have somebody like Chris Pratt, it's worth more than somebody like the voice actor for Mario who nobody knows his name, or so the theory goes. But of course, this begs the question, does that really make sense? Does that really work? Will this Mario movie be a hit just because Chris Pratt has got his name on it? It's a little bit hard to tell, to be honest, because the movies that have big stars are also the movies that are released by major studios, and they have big marketing budgets. And because they have big marketing budgets, they can get the movie in front of a lot of people. And percentage-wise, if you advertise enough, eventually you will get some conversions, some responses. It's like that song that you hear on the radio and you hate it, but the sixth or seventh time you hate it, you begin to like it and listen to it, and then maybe you even go out and intentionally listen to it on your own. Not that that's ever happened to me. It's the same way with marketing for movies. You may eventually go see a movie just because of exposure to the ads so frequently. Eventually your curiosity is piqued and you give in and go. Or your friend is convinced to go, and that works even better because peer pressure is the best marketing tool there is. So it's really hard to separate the marketing technique from the voice actor draw. Some people that I talk to who are a little bit more honest in the film distribution world say it really only matters if your celebrity is a household name. So if your celebrity is not a household name, doesn't matter if their voice is in the movie or not. So let's drill down a little bit and go into the puppetry aspect of this and look at some examples from puppet film to see whether or not celebrity voice actors make a difference. So the first example I want to use is a movie called Yamasong, March of the Hollows. Yamasong is a great example of a puppet movie because it's one that a lot of people missed and really should go check out. So definitely check out Yamasong, March of the Hollows if you're at all interested in puppetry or puppetry in film. It's a must-see. Yamasong is a great example of a movie with a relatively low budget that pulled in a lot of really high-caliber voice talent. So you've got Abigail Breslin, Nathan Fillion, Peter Weller, Malcolm McDowell, Whoopi Goldberg, Ed Asner. It's just a fantastic cast. Unfortunately, there's a pretty good chance that even some of you watching this very niche puppetry channel have never heard of Yamasong, March of the Hollows, despite its really, really high-profile cast. So that would seem to be a point against the idea of casting really high-profile voice talent. Now, I know from talking to people who've worked on this movie that it was really great to get high-profile voice talent, and it did definitely improve the prestige of the movie and the perception of the movie in people's minds. So there's all kinds of benefits, but was it enough by itself to help push the movie over the edge into the blockbuster territory? No, it wasn't. Another great example that you probably have heard of is Netflix's prequel series to The Dark Crystal called The Age of Resistance. The events of The Age of Resistance take place years before the events of the original Dark Crystal movie, which came out in 1982. This 2018 series has a huge cast of stars voicing the puppets. You've got Mark Hamill, Taron Egerton, Anya Taylor-Joy, Awkwafina, Keegan-Michael Key, and Simon Pegg. Wow. Very expensive cast. So a lot of people theorized when the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance was canceled after only one season that this high-profile, high-cost voice actor talent was part of the reason. I mean, it's expensive enough to make puppet films with fancy sets and elaborate costume designs, storytelling, world building, and then you throw in some super expensive, ultra-talented actors into the mix, and it may just be a dollar too many. And a lot of people felt like maybe those voice actors weren't so necessary and they could have gone with someone cheaper, and then the show would still be on the air today. We don't know. But one thing we can say for sure is that having Anya Taylor-Joy cast in the show didn't prevent it from getting the axe from Netflix. So there's that. Now let's compare and contrast that with some older films that influenced these newer films. The first one being the original Dark Crystal. The voice cast of the Dark Crystal is a really talented cast of actors. None of them could really be said to be celebrities, per se. The biggest example I can think of from that cast is Billy Whitelaw, who was a bit of a theater sensation, but definitely not a movie star. So you had an incredible voice talent who were capable actors who took on parts, but you didn't have to worry about the extra high price tag. You could put the money into the production design and the research and the development that the Henson team worked on for years to try and get the Dark Crystal world feeling as real as they could possibly get it. So we see here a totally different approach from the way that they approached voice acting in Yamasong and Age of Resistance. Another example is Yoda from The Empire Strikes Back. And a lot of you are going to say, Frank Oz is totally a celebrity and a movie star, and I agree. However, I don't think that Frank Oz would have been a marquee name in 1980. It definitely wasn't a marketing point for the movie. If you look at their materials and their posters and things, that Frank Oz was in the film. His name's there with the cast, but it's not a particularly high-leveraged marketing tool. Certainly not more so than the film's other stars like Harrison Ford.
Why?
So yeah, here we have two verifiable, certifiable classics of puppetry that don't have any celebrity voice acting playing the puppet characters. And then we have two newer attempts that unfortunately didn't find their audience, despite having really amazing stars in their cast. Now, this could be down to a lot of things. The marketplace was very different in the 80s when the Dark Crystal and The Empire Strikes Back were made. The new shows are entering a very crowded marketplace where there's a lot of competition for people's eyeballs, including these original films, which people continue to watch over and over and over again in a way that wouldn't have been possible back in the 80s. So, yeah, it's very tricky, very tough. I want to know what you think. Tell me if you think that celebrity voice actors make a huge difference and we should definitely put them in our movies, or if you think that just regular old voice actors who are talented and not necessarily celebrities or household names can do just as good a job and you can still have a hit movie. Leave me a comment down below. Be sure to like and subscribe and share this video with people who might find it interesting or people who might hate it and you want to annoy them. People who hate tea. You can send this video to people who hate tea. Please and thank you. Until next time. My tea's all gone now. Okay, now it's all gone.